So you'll learn how to notate music, you'll develop your ear, and you'll develop a greater appreciation for and hearing from music. You're going to hear deeper inside of music. You're probably going to hear parts that maybe you didn't hear before, because we're really going to be opening up your ear with this course. I mean, this is a really intensive course. There's nothing else like it. We're going to go ahead and we're going to go through our last introductory lesson. When we get into the main lessons, they're a little bit more intensive, but this lesson here will provide you with a few extra exercises so that you can practice this, and maybe this will be a little more difficult for you than some of the previous lessons I've given you so far. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pitch immersion. Remember, listen to the tone. If I play a C, you really want to listen to that C. Try and imitate it. Try and listen to all the details. You don't have to say the note name. Thank you to the person that asked me about that. You don't have to say the note name internally, but you should think the note. In fact, initially when I play a note, I don't want you to identify it. You may automatically try to, but try and resist that urge to instantly identify it. Just listen to it. Just kind of close your eyes and let that sound kind of wash over you a little bit. Then when I ask you to audiate, try and recreate that sound in as much detail as possible. What we're doing here is we are honing the ear. We're taking what we hear in the external world and we're bringing it inside. And that back and forth between external and internal, that's what's going to really help you to develop your ability to hear chords with 5, 6, 7 notes in them. It's going to be what develops your ability to notate 4-part harmony, things like this. So we need to start culturing the ear now and developing the ear now, so that when we get to these more complex chord progressions and some of the more advanced exercises that come later in the course, you're ready for it. And it's not all of a sudden, here's a new thing we have to learn and you've had no basis for it previously, okay? So we're going to stick with the notes C4 and G4, and then I'm going to play the notes C3 and G3, and we're going to do about 2 minutes of this. So listen, just listen, don't judge it, just try and appreciate the note for what it is. Then audiate, so that's when you take it internally and you try and recreate every nuance of the sound as much as possible. And then you sing the note name out loud. And when I say sing, I'll give you about a second or two, I'll tell you the note name, and then I'll play the note, and you can match to see if you played the correct pitch. Okay? So here's your C, and here's your G. Here's your first note. Listen. Audiate. Sing the note name. C. Okay, see how that works? Pretty easy. Here's your next note. So you're listening right now. I'm going to play it one more time. Now audiate. Now sing the note name. G. G. And so you should match pitch. If you're slightly flat, you might go G. You know, you'll be out of tune. You'll be able to hear. You'll be able to hear that it's not matching. There won't be the resonance, okay? Let's do another one. Listen. Audiate. Sing the note name. G. Listen. Audiate. So when you're audiating, you're going to have to hold this note in your memory while I talk. When you're audiating, if I play it with an accent, try and recreate that accent. If I play it softly, try and recreate that soft timbre. So you really want to try and recreate as much as you can remember about it. And we're starting with just 2 notes. So this is very, very easy. But there's a lot in this. There's a lot of challenge in this because all of us, no matter how great our hearing is, we can always get deeper inside these notes. And you'll be surprised how deep you can actually go into hearing what a C sounds like and what a G sounds like. Okay, so hopefully you remember the note. Now sing the note name. C. Okay, we're going to do one more. Listen. Audiate. Sing. C. I'm now going to go an octave down. So we're going to have this note here, C3, and G3. Now one of the reasons why I'm separating treble and bass clef is because while most of you will be able to hear that's a C, that's also a C, you'll be able to hear the octaves and you won't get confused. Some of you will get confused. And remember, this is for everybody. So what I'm trying to do is, for those of you that have never listened to music before, you'll hear the bottom note, and you'll hear the G is higher right now. If I go all over the piano, here's a C, here's a G, here's a C, here's a G. Some of you will get confused by that. So in order to prevent those little errors, you're listening for the lower note is C, and the higher note is G. And then over time, this will help the beginning students learn to recognize a C and a G in its own unique sound. And it'll help the advanced students by still allowing them to try and really get into these notes and audiate them as clearly as possible. So it really does work on multiple levels here. And if you are advanced, just be patient, complete these exercises. You'll probably find after a week of doing these that something's changing in your hearing if you haven't done anything like this before. So this is really beneficial for everybody. Okay, so we're going to go for the lower octave now, C3 and G3. Listen. Audiate. Sing the note name, G. Listen. Audiate. Sing the note name, C. Listen. Audiate. And sing the note name, C. One more. Listen. Audiate. And sing the note name, G. Okay, so when you're listening to these notes, listen to the C once. Do you hear the vibrations? If not, that's okay. You will hear it the more you listen to it. What about the G? Do you hear the vibration of the G? If you compare the C, it's faster somehow than the G. If you compare this G here to this C a little higher, they also have sort of a different vibration pattern. So now if you compare C and C, here's a lower C. And the upper C. There's something about them that sounds similar. You might hear a similar vibration pattern. You might hear a similar sound. Listen to the C an octave lower. And listen to the C down here. And up here. And up here. Now listen to a G. That G sounds different somehow. That's what we're looking for, and that's what we're trying to recreate. So let's go into our next exercise, pitch breakdown. So pitch breakdown, I'm going to play 2 notes. You're going to sing the bottom note, you're going to listen to the bottom note, then you're going to sing the top note, and you're going to listen to the top note. And then I'll play this interval over and over again. You'll mentally alternate between the bottom and the top note. Alright, so let's start with this interval. So listen to it again. Sing the bottom note. And I'm going to play it. So sing it. Did you get it right? If so, great. If not, and even if you did, now try and make that bottom note stand out. Listen to the bottom note. Listen again. And one more time. Did it get stronger each time? If it did, your ear is developing. That's good. If it didn't, keep trying. Now listen for the top note. Listen one more time. Try and make it clear. Now sing the top note. Did you get it right? Listen. We're going to play it 3 times. Now you know what note to listen for. Listen for it in the interval. And one more time. Okay, now you're going to alternate between the bottom and the top note. Bum, bum, bum. Each time I play it, you're going to alternate. So here we go. Bottom note. You don't have to sing this, you're just doing this mental. Now the top note. Bottom. Top. Bottom. And top. Okay, we're going to do one more. Listen for the bottom note, you're going to sing it. Go ahead and sing it. Did you get it right? If not, and even if you did, try and make that bottom note stand out now. You're listening for this note. Here we go. Make it stand out. And one more time. Okay, can you sing the top note? I'll play it again. Did you get it right? If not, even if you did, go ahead and listen for that top note. Make it more clear. That's the note you're listening for. One more time. Okay, now alternate between the bottom and the top note. Here we go. You hearing it? Okay, so we'll do a lot more of this in the actual chord. Okay, so the interval or chord. So I'm going to play a C major chord or a perfect fifth. Then I'm going to play a G major chord or a perfect fifth. Now what we're doing here is I'm preparing you to hear chord progressions. So you may not know what this means yet, but C in the key of C major would be considered a 1 chord. G in the key of G major would be considered a 5 chord. So while we would not necessarily voice it like this, I'm preparing you to hear a chord progression similar to this. It's a 1-5-1 cadence. It's probably the most common cadence in music. And we're starting very gently by just having to identify a C major triad versus a C perfect fifth, or a G major triad versus a G perfect fifth. So you'll see how this course is very slowly introducing you to a wide variety of skills and techniques. At this point, all you have to do is say, is it C major, C perfect fifth, G major, or G perfect fifth? Here we go. This is your C major chord. For reference, here's your G major chord. I'm just going to play the treble clef right now. So the higher one will always be G major. So is it an interval or a chord? And what interval or chord is it? Say the note name. C major. C perfect fifth. G major. G perfect fifth. Are these more clear than lesson B? If so, that's great. That's probably what you should be experiencing. Interval or chord, and what is it? C perfect fifth. G perfect fifth. C major. G perfect fifth. G major. C major. C major. C major. C perfect fifth. G major. G perfect fifth. Let's try the lower octave. Here's C, and here's G. Here we go. Chord or interval. C perfect fifth. C major. G major. G perfect fifth. C major. C perfect fifth. C major. C major. G perfect fifth. G perfect fifth. So I'm very curious, if these are getting easy for you, please leave a note in the comments, leave a comment so that I can see. I really am very interested to know how you're doing with this. Feedback is very useful for me because I am creating this course as we go. I have a map for it, but I can adjust things. So if I see people saying, no, I'm not hearing it, or yes, I'm hearing it, that helps me, okay? For the last one, we're going to do only the first one and the third one. We're just going to do two today. And they're each going to be 4 measures long, so go ahead and set up your score. So you want to put in 4 measures here. And 4 measures down here. And the way I want you to approach this is listen, then you audiate it. Once you've audiated, then you notate it. And when you're notating it, I'm actually going to ask you to pause the recording so that you have as much time as you need to actually notate this. Okay? So here's your first one. 1, 2, just listen. Audiate, ready, go. Pause the recording and notate it. Okay, next one. Starting pitch, 1, 2, ready, go. Audiate, 2, ready, go. Pause the recording, we're going to notate. Okay, so the actual course is going to be a little bit different. There's additional exercises we're going to be doing. We'll be doing some additional singing exercises and some additional drills that really help you develop and sensitize your ear to hear more complex ideas in music. And the notations are going to be slightly different because I'm going to ask you to just have some staff paper available. And I'm going to just flip to the next screen where I'll show you the answer. So I'll give you 5 or 6 seconds and then you'll be able to go on and actually just see the notated answer. So thank you for watching. Please let me know if you have any questions. The